Kid, I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff, but I've never seen anything to make me believe there's one all-powerful force controlling everything.
Hi everybody, today I want to talk about independent thinking, much like Han Solo. I don't necessarily believe there's some mystical force that we all have to follow, although, I mean, to a certain degree there may be, depending on your religion or what you believe in. For me, I think independent thinking has really helped me throughout my life. I try to do research on my own, learn as much as I can, listen to people, of course, and I really find it fascinating and I enjoy it quite a bit. And this particular app, the Veve app, I mean, you really can see the people that figure things out for their own, have an idea, whatever you want to call it, zig when other people are zagging, whatever you want to call that, they have been rewarded. Now, I do believe some of the people that have zigged when other people have zagged have failed, and we don't necessarily hear about that. So that does happen too. But for the most part, I think if you're able to have a concept, follow through, a lot of those people have been rewarded, and we're in, so early in this space, we never know. Sometimes maybe it's all, you can't go wrong maybe. Today specifically, I think there was some controversy around this comic, which is Amazing Spider-Man 252, the first appearance of the black suit. This is not a real one, not a first print. This is a facsimile, a reprint. I don't have a first print, although this is a heavily printed book and a popular book. I just think there's so many of them that it's kind of reduced the price. I think if it was scarce, it would be a valuable book. But as you know, scarcity and popularity, demand, they all go hand in hand. I gave this an S tier on my scale, and there's a variety of different people that have looked at it. And I think it's, today what I wanted to do is talk about why I gave it an S tier. The only other book I have in S tier is the Marvel Comics #1. I think we all know the significance of that one. So the reason why I'm explaining it is I want you to be able to see my thought process, because maybe that will help you so that you can form, your own tiers or whatever criteria you're using to try to determine whether or not you want to buy these various NFTs. And I also just want to talk a little about collecting in general and how my mentality towards it is maybe different than other people's. So let's get right into it. All right, so as we know, the significance of this book is that it's, there is just super, super rare. 1,000 mints. The secret rare had 40, and the ultra rare had 100 or something like that. So there's just not many of these. As of right now, they're expensive. I mean, the secret rare was going for, I think, 20,000 plus, and the commons were going for maybe 1,800 when I started filming this. And so, are they going to hold? Is it a good buy? That's difficult for me to know. And that's always a moving target, right? So if you bought the thing at 100,000 and now it fell to 20,000, well, yeah, it was a bad deal. But if you buy the thing for 15,000 and it runs up to 50,000, well, that was a good. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here, and a lot of it is trying to, project the future, which is honestly pretty difficult, especially in this space where we don't have comparables specifically for this one. I mean, that's generally what I'm trying to do and what people try to do when they're making their assumptions. So let me get into some of the things that I look at. So one of the things, of course, you look at is the physical comparables. You look at the 9.8s, you look at the value, you look at the market cap. And a lot of those things are on my website, veverank.com. If you go to a specific book, you can click on it. I have, a lot of data there. But sometimes you can't always trust that. I mean, or for example, Amazing Spider-Man #1, there's 3,000. I looked it up. Fantastic Four #5, there's 1,500. So, and there's no 9.8, so I mean, you can't use that as an indicator. Obviously, each of these books are really, really expensive because they have significant characters in them. When you look at ASM 252, maybe, I looked at it, it's about 1,700, maybe 1,500 for a 9.8, but there's 15,000 of them. So clearly, there is a lot of people willing to pay a ton of money for that book. I don't know what the market cap is, but it's probably pretty high. It's, and so trying to encapsulate all that is very, very difficult. And but in my thinking, when I'm trying to make a buying decision, I try to look at, how I always try and create these boundaries, right? Is it this or is it that? So, my first, is it Marvel Comics 1? No. Is it, and I think this is the worst comic, so if you disagree, I apologize. Is it the X-Men 308, which is the Thanksgiving one? No. So, we're trying to move it in here. So it's definitely because it's Spider-Man, and I do think that is significant. Spider-Man is a different creature. I mean, a lot of my, when I've been looking at different things and trying to price things in collectibles, one of the things I've made huge mistakes on, and if you watch this channel you've seen, is I continually make huge mistakes on the value of Mickey Mouse. Not that I don't like Mickey Mouse, not that I don't like Walt Disney, but that whole week and even this latest drop, I have underestimated. I just, Mickey Mouse is a different creature. And I will say that again, Spider-Man, it's a different creature. And so Spider-Man in the black costume the first time, that is a significant event. And you get a lot of people that are really into Venom, into the black costume. So that is significant for specific people. Maybe not for you, but for myself, I think it's a significant event. And for other collectors, it is too. Now, when you have such a low mint number, is it going to push it up? Possibly. Some people say it's not a first appearance. Well, this is true. It's not a first appearance of really any character. It's a first appearance of an event. But for example, we value Amazing Spider-Man #1. That's not a first appearance of anything. That's the second appearance of Spider-Man. There are other books where events happen that it's significant. Whether it be Captain America picking up Thor's hammer, other different events that happen. Those books maybe not are super, super valuable, but they're valuable because of what they are and what they represent. And so for this book, I chose it as Tier S. Tier S books in my mind have to have something, outrageously incredible, significant, different, every single adjective you can think of. And this one does. It's this incredibly low mint number. And paired with Spider-Man, paired with the black costume, I felt that was super, super significant, and that's why I put it in Tier S. Some people say, well, does that mean do I hold, do I sell? That's in my mind different. Whether or not you want to hold or sell depends on a lot of things. For a lot of people, $20,000 is a lot of money. Maybe it makes sense to hold that. For some people, $20,000 is nothing. Maybe they want to hold it and see if it runs up. Other people, like for me as a collector, that, and I'll speak a little bit about that, is that collecting inherently is trying to find scarce things. Trying to find something that you enjoy that other people do not. That's what it is in a weird way. Because once again, if it's abundant, it's not that you don't want to collect it, and sometimes it's fun, but there's some element of the scarcity that makes it interesting. And so I have a variety of things in my collection that most people will think are just trash, and probably I couldn't sell on eBay for $5, but for me, they have value. Now, this one, I think to a certain degree, depending on the collector, it might fall into that. Now, my thought process is when you're looking at the secret rares, could you find 40 people? And I'm not just trying to look at it right now, but in the future, that this is a scarce book. It's an exclusive cover. Yeah, I think you could find 40 people that it was meaningful for. Now, what that price point is, I don't know. The price point could get crazy, or maybe it will fall down. We don't know. Once again, it's something we're trying to project in the future, but I still think it's significant because the book is so rare at this point. Now, someone said, well, maybe they're going to release one with 200 minutes. Okay, well, then that, maybe that changes all the calculations. I don't know. But for what it is right now, that's why I put it in Tier S. Now, let me talk a little bit more about this whole game of, I don't think it's going to be valuable. Yes, it's valuable. And it's such a personal thing, so I can't speak for anybody. I can only speak for myself, and you can speak for yourself. And what's odd in the world of collectibles and comics is things that are worthless sometimes become valuable. So I'll give you two examples. The first example I'll give you is this book, all new Ghost Rider #1, the 1 in 50. This is a very, very rare book. I think I looked and there's only 40 graded. 15 9.8s and like 14 9.6s or something like this. So this is a nothing book, but recently released, Robbie Reyes, this is Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, may be coming to the MCU, so suddenly this book has picked up steam. Maybe this book, because it's so scarce, jumps and goes crazy in price. So that's what I mean by something that may be useless. Now, why did I get this? I love Ghost Rider, and I like this artist, Trad Moore, and I think this cover is spectacular. There is no reason other than I just thought it was awesome. Another one, which I did not own, but is a book that's been around forever, is X-Men 96, the first appearance of Moira McTaggart, who is a nothing non-mutant side character who, after the House of X and Powers of X, becomes known that she is a mutant and one of the most powerful mutants of all time, and the linchpin in which all X-Men really are utilizing her powers to stay alive. So this book has gone from a nothing book, and I don't necessarily think people would be collecting it other than that it's a low X-Men and people like to collect the entire X-Men run. But now has pushed ahead, and I mean, it's not, once again, this isn't in Fantastic Four #5, it's not worth something like that, but it is a book that was nothing that has become something. If you're the person who is just collecting things they like, and they're not necessarily always trying to say, oh, this is going to be the value, this is trying to do all the calculations, sometimes it ends up rewarding you. I've had it happen so many times that a lot of the, if I find something that I think is intriguing, that I really like, that doesn't, and other people just think it's stupid, that doesn't deter me from going after it. Now, I mean, price is an issue. In this specific comic, I just think it's so interesting. We don't know what is going to happen. We do know the scarcity is going to affect its value, and we have seen other NFTs with extreme rarity skyrocket in price. I do not know if that's going to happen with this particular comic. I mean, we don't know. A lot of people have used comparables like, would you rather own this SR or a Walt? Would you rather own this SR or 3 ultra rare Mickeys? I don't know. I mean, that's maybe from a pure investment perspective, you would say, oh, I would definitely take the Walt. I actually do like the Walt better probably than that SR. But if you have a Walt already like I do, maybe that's intriguing. I really like comics. I'm into comics. I really like Spider-Man. I really like Venom. I really think that this is a significant book. I like the black suit. I like those exclusive covers. A case can be made. If the price was right, would I buy the SR or one of the other ones? Of course. But right now, it's out of reach, and I actually think it's going to come down a little bit. So, we'll see. I do believe that the price really, really starts to move when all of or most of the books are in hands of people that really, really enjoy that collectible. So if you get the SR of that book in hands of people like me, they're not going to let that book go, and you could see the price go up. So each person has to really make decisions on your own. I started out with that little funny scene with Han Solo. He's obviously an independent thinker, and really you have to just make your own decisions. And sometimes and I recognize a lot of people are looking at these things as investments, and I think that obviously that's wise, especially when we're talking about some of the numbers that we're talking about. But on the other hand, sometimes I think it's okay to be a collector. Hey, I really want to collect all of these things. I really, that's fun for me. I think if you're doing that, you're not going wrong either. So I encourage you to look for that. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.